Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Great. What color are your um leg wears?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Tan.
Tan.
Yeah.
Wow. Not
Yeah.
burgundy or beige.
No, tan. Because
Wow.
it's really good for getting covered in sawdust.
That is the best color for sawdust.
Yes.
I will agree. Yeah.
Tan and
Yeah.
gray are good for sawdust. Oh,
Blue is not does not go well for with sawdust. It looks
it's
awful.
true. It's true. Although
Mm-hmm.
J-Ho's got denim blue, and that's not so bad because denim generally has like some, like white in it, intermingled
Yeah,
and
the
stuff. And
white in
so
it is fine. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
A
so
little bit of
then
a
so then it just kind of looks like normal, when they get sawdust on them. But I have these like dark
yeah.
pants, and then you just I basically walk into the wood shop, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
they're immediately not dark anymore.
Not dark pants anymore.
Right?
Wow.
It's true.
I always wear jeans. I don't think I mean I have worn other pants in the past many years, but
Uh huh.
pretty much wear jeans every day of my life. And they're comfortable for me.
Yeah,
But I pick out comfortable jeans.
that's good.
I like jeans.
Yeah, jeans are nice. They're good. They're usually pretty tough. They
That's
can
what I like
handle
about
some
them.
stuff. So yeah,
hmm
jeans are good.
They can look
And
good and be yeah, they don't rip.
yep. And you're right, Jeho. They are also more utilitarian.
Mm.
Much
Yeah.
utility in jeans. Like you can do a lot. Good.
hmm
So happy New
I need one with
Year.
a hammer belt.
Yes, you do. I need
Yeah, so that I can do hammer time.
hammer time. Oh, geez.
Of
Then you
course I'd
need
need hammer
you
pants for
could
that,
get some
but
hammer pants. Most people
can hammer pants even hold a hammer? Like,
probably not. I mean, you could fit a hammer in there somewhere, but
oh, you
like,
could fit several.
yeah, but like, there's not.
hmm Not a not a utility belt for it or anything.
Right on.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Yes, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
Welcome,
Year.
welcome.
It's 2026. This is the year. I don't know if you knew
Mm,
that or not. This is the year, though. Like, so, yeah, so do it.
wow. I thought you were gonna say like this is the year of the and like say some random animal,
I think it's the year of
but
the horse.
oh, that sounds right.
I think.
Actually, yes, that's right. That's right. Someone else said that.
Yeah. I only know because actually, I can verify this immediately. So I went to a Chinese restaurant, right? And we got some food because that's what we do at the Chinese restaurant. And I
Makes sense.
had this in my bag, and I was like, "What is that?" And this is a second one because we've been there a few times. So we'll do this unboxing of this thing I got at the Chinese restaurant. And what it is this bamboo like. Can I even get it? All right. I'm gonna have to bite it or something. Jeez, this plastic's ridiculous.
You need some
Oh, oh!
scissors.
I found a spot. There we go.
You found a weak
Yes,
point.
I did. So yeah, so then like it's this,
Oh,
it's a calendar. It's like an
aha.
annual calendar for the whole year, and 2026
I think that's
is.
beautiful.
Oh, it doesn't say on this one. This one's different. Oh, it doesn't say. This one's different. It doesn't say. The other one I had all like what the years are, of whatever
Hmm.
animal and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's the year of the horse.
Wow. So you went to a Chinese restaurant, got food, and they gave you this? Like
This
in a
was in the
baggie?
bag. Yeah, this was in my bag.
Wow. That was nice.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Like
cool.
a cool little scroll type thing. That's nice.
Yeah. So now
That's fun.
I have two.
And one of them has the whole ear of the horse on it.
I'm pretty sure it's the year of the horse. I don't know for sure, but I think it is.
I think it is too.
Yeah. And my fortune cookie
Hi, my
said that
honey.
March is going to bring opportunities. So, March.
Okay, look out for March, everybody. Joe's gonna be opportunist. Maybe.
Exactly.
We'll see.
I mean, because fortune cookies are always right, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How's it going, Marhandi? Good to see you. I know.
I've never had a
Interesting
fortune
place to
cookie
get a
that was
calendar,
wrong.
right? You never had a fortune that was wrong?
Mm-hmm. I've had a lot
Hmm.
of them that didn't make any sense, though. Does that count as wrong?
Maybe. I don't know.
I've had some that were really weird. Like the words were in the wrong order
Oh, yeah.
or something.
Yep. Hey, Baka,
No.
welcome. Your family got a calendar at church, Mahandi? Yeah, there's a lot of that going
Oh
as
yeah.
well. Churches give out calendars. My brother's company gives out calendars. Um, Insurance companies give out calendars. Lots of places give out calendars. And it's nice because then you have calendars and you can, put them up on every wall.
That's kind of nice because it's like you don't have to buy one. You just go around and someone will give you one.
Yep, that's true.
Wow.
That is
That's
true.
nice.
Oh, J-Ho,
Mm-hmm.
2026 is the year of the fire horse. Not only is it the horse, it's the fire horse.
Wow. It's like the red
Whoa.
horse, like Lubu. If anyone know who Lubu is,
Lubu. I don't know who Lubu is. The fire.
he's not a horse. He just rides a red horse, and I'm guessing that's the kind of horse that they mean by a fire horse.
Oh,
He's
okay.
a famous fictional character in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms
Ah,
novel, many novels, that thing.
interesting. Interesting. You said Lubu. All I could think of was Blucifer. It's like
Lucifer?
Blucifer.
Is that Lucifer, but he's blue?
That's the horse in the Denver airport.
Oh, you're right. That is Lucifer. I forgot about that. Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen Lucifer many a time. Lucifer is actually quite terrifying
Yeah.
and killed its owner.
Yep. Killed
Maybe
its
twice.
owner. It's freaky looking. It's got red eyes. But then you were like a fire horse, and I'm like, blue doesn't remind me of fire usually.
Mm.
Although really hot flames are blue,
That's true.
right?
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So anyway, welcome guys. Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday, the first one of the year. We're excited to be here, and we're excited that you guys are here with us. Oh, just north of the Denver airport is a stray Waffle House. I love Waffle House.
Mm.
Oh, we don't have Waffle House in Michigan, except for, maybe there's one down by Detroit. Maybe.
I was gonna say they might have one by
Yeah,
Detroit, or in Detroit, but
I know.
it doesn't mean it's accessible.
Yeah. Yeah, Waffle House is, I like Waffle House. So good.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. This is a show we do on Wednesdays. It's all about you guys and your topics and the stuff you send us. So if you have something you'd like us to talk about, you can send it to don'tworrywednesday.com. Click the submit a topic button and submit it there. Or if you're here and we're streaming, you can just put it in the chat. We'd be happy to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. If you have some kind of issue going on, some kind of challenge, that's kind of why we originated this. But we've done a bunch of topics on all kinds of stuff, man. Like, well,
Yeah, we've
so
done everything.
there's
No, we
no
haven't.
there's
You guys
no
could still.
topic. We've never come across a topic that we wouldn't cover.
That's true. There was an occasion where we had a topic where we literally took a week and we're like, how do we address this one? What's the best way to do that? And then we said, yeah, that's it. Well, we happened one time.
And we still did it.
Oh yeah, we did.
We just didn't.
We did well.
We had to think about it.
Yeah.
But so again, go to don'tworrywednesday.com and you can submit your topics there. We'd be happy to do whatever it is you would like us to talk about. We are not professional therapists, we're not attorneys, and we're not any type of professional counsel that you might need throughout your life. However, we're not a substitute for that either. But we could oh no, Baka says there's interest in the Minecraft servers. Ugh.
It is
When are we gonna
neglected, I'm
update those?
sure.
Dang it. It needs like
Oh man.
it hasn't been updated in so long. Holy cow. I'm gonna probably like in order to do that, I'm gonna have to get in touch with the admin and be like, yeah,
Was that Turtle Dude?
that
Comment?
is Turtle Dude, yes.
Hmm.
Yes. I haven't even touched any of that in so long. I've been so busy. I am sorry. But yeah. Yes.
Feels like y'all just issued a challenge. Yes.
We just issued a challenge. Yes. Come up with a topic that we refuse to talk about. I dare you.
Wow.
Yes, it has been ages
Man,
since we
that could get us in
J-Ho.
trouble,
No,
though.
it could. Then they're gonna start sending topics that are just gonna, whoa,
get us banned on YouTube.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but we're not professionals. We're not. Like,
True.
we don't give professional
can't be held
advice.
accountable.
We're not a substitute for professional advice. Like anything we say or do is for entertainment purposes only. You probably shouldn't listen to us because we don't know what we're talking about. And there's the legal disclaimer. Do with what you will.
Yeah.
Like
earlier, you said we are not a professional counsel, and I was like, we are a counsel in a way. In our company, we have
counsel,
several
like
people, and
COU.
yeah, and then I figured you meant
SEL.
counselor. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, never mind. Yeah, okay, no, we're not that. Safer work topics, yeah.
You won't touch, not including politics. We talk politics. I'm happy to talk politics.
We will talk politics.
I'm happy. It's crazy. I can give you my political point of view right now. The right and the left are two sides of the same coin, and the entire coin is crap.
I can't disagree with that at all. But Joe and I have very similar perspectives on things. I don't pick sides because sides are the battle, and it's pointless.
Yep, that's true. And like really, I believe that the battle between the right and the left is given to us to distract us from what actually is happening in government.
Now that sounds like a conspiracy, but it is true.
Yep.
Even if not intentional, it does do that.
Oh, I'm sure it's intentional.
Likely intentional.
There are a lot of things that are intentional that they try and distract us from all that, and they want us to get us all riled up, and they want us to get us fighting amongst ourselves, because then if we're divided, they can easily control us. That's my point of view. 60 parties in Australia. Holy cow.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she painstakingly read through every one of them, like what everyone says, like, and in the end, she's like, there's not a single one of them that's like good. There's some of them that are like fighting for the alligators. It's like, what is that about? It's just really weird.
It's all about the alligators?
No, one of them was. One of them was like very, very set on like, guys, we have an alligator problem, blah, 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 blah. And that's like, that's a local thing, that's not a whole Australia thing.
Right.
So your party's not going to go very far. Most people can't. Sorry, crocodile. They don't have enough alligators over here to compete with the crocodiles. That's what the problem is. Sorry, crocodile. Crocodile love, yeah.
Ooh, that's an interesting point, J-Ho. The problem with politics and religion is the same. People are involved. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. And one of the biggest
People in their
problems you could ever run into is when you combine politics and religion.
that gets pretty bad.
That creates,
History will show that.
historically speaking, that creates some of the biggest issues you've ever seen. And it's so funny because the church always gets blamed for it. But
Yeah, usually it's the government that enforces the church rule, not the church that enforces the government rule.
Right. And then the government does things in a weird way that's not necessarily religious, but then, they think it's the religion's fault, but it's not. It's like,
Happens all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ooh, Marhandi. My main question as far as politics go is how far right is the left party and how left is the right party? Because there's definitely more overlap than there should be for at least one statement. You know what? You're right. And my friend Kate has told me, she was talking recently. We were talking, and she was talking about the horseshoe effect. And it was, like basically the farther left and the farther right you go, the more they sound the same. Like it's this horseshoe, like they get closer and closer together. And you're right. Everybody's super mad, and but it's like you guys all sound the same, man.
Yeah.
Yep. You couldn't even figure out the least offensive party to you? They're all insane. Oh my gosh. They're all offensive. Depends on how much money the parties get paid. You know what? You're not wrong. Like, and it's crazy because now they have all this funding and everything like that, and there's wealthy,
that really
powerful,
changes the game.
There's wealthy, powerful people behind both major parties in the United States, and probably behind all the major parties in other countries too. And there's just this backing, and I don't know. They just want to shove ideologies down our throat and then, get us to believe things that aren't true. And it's nuts.
Jan says, well, you would hope that people can agree on at least a few things, regardless of what party gets voted in. And I feel like if you have a one-on-one conversation with people, you can find those things pretty easily.
Absolutely.
But there are people that they think anything someone does, for example, like there are people who think anybody who is in office right now, if they do anything, it's wrong, even if it was something that they previously said they wanted, So we do have people who are not really on a party. They're just hate. They just hate something.
Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong about that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I don't know.
So some people you can't please no matter what you do.
Oh, certainly.
They're just going to hate you.
Certainly.
And some people, yeah. And some people are going to love you and defend you no matter what you do. And that's silly also. So.
Yes, it is all
it's
a
all
spectrum.
Yep.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But
and we meet at many points, but
most of them
we refuse to agree.
Right. And it's crazy. Like you were talking about, Ryan, if you have like a one-on-one conversation with somebody, it's amazing how much common ground you can find, because I've gone politically in both directions. I've gone left and I've gone right, and now I'm off the chart. None of them. Like I'm just like off the map. Like people be like, I'm independent, and then people are like, oh, you're centrist, and I'm like, no, I'm not even centrist. I'm like not even on the line. Like
yeah.
But it's amazing to me when I remember having conversations when I was leaning far right, and I had a friend of mine, a bass player in the band I was in, who was far left, and we'd sit in the hot tub after band practice, and we'd have these political discussions, and they were really loud, right? But what we discovered, it was amazing, because what we discovered was we pretty much want the same stuff. It's just that we've been fed a bill of goods from whatever party saying that's how we get there, and we just resonate with it for whatever reason.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree, J Ho. A lot of times I try to go for the lesser of two evils for sure. But the problem is how do you even know?
Mm,
Because it really depends on the
yeah.
sources you listen to that you're gonna start to believe something is a lesser evil than the other. And it's like, what the heck, man? And so then it's all just confusing and messed up. And so yeah, it's crazy. Oh, interesting. Marhandi says Catholicism is an offshoot of Christianity that has some fundamental differences from its basis of Christianity, just as Christianity is an offshoot of Judaism. That's an interesting statement, Marhandi. And I've come to learn that Catholicism is the original Christianity, historically speaking. Now, they did some stuff throughout history that's messed up, for sure. But really, when you look at Christianity, historical Christianity, Catholicism is the first. So that's like the original.
It's kind of hard to say it's an offshoot because everything's an offshoot of itself because everything evolves over time.
That's true.
Even Judaism is nothing like the Judaism right now. Modern Judaism is very different than
Oh, from original?
the Judaism when Jesus was alive, for example. So
Yes.
different.
Yes.
But it's still called Judaism. So you could call it an offshoot as well,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's been one line.
Yep. And Hinduism has like so many offshoots. It's crazy.
Wow, that one. Yeah.
Hinduism.
Every region has its own version of Hinduism because it had its own like Hinduism kind of blended in with the religion that was there and became a new religion that was and that got really weird.
Yep. Buddhism the same way has all kinds of weird branches in there,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
yep.
did the same thing. Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I think things just they evolve. So yeah.
Ooh, Baka. Good point. I believe that profit needs to be removed from US politics. Should be a service to the people they represent and should not make more than minimum wage of that state. I like that idea. We could go back to the original form of American politics where it was volunteer.
Hmm.
Those guys, it was volunteer political stuff, right? They didn't make any money being politicians, you know.
Mhm.
Now we got all these like, government jobs with golden parachutes and all this kind of stuff, and it's just nuts, man.
It is nuts.
For sure. Um,
And it's nuts in every country.
you bet.
There's no escape.
You bet. Yeah. So I don't know. We could have all kinds of political conversations. They might not be that interesting because we're just gonna be like, yeah, politics is dumb.
We generally don't have a harsh one-sided opinion on anything, so it doesn't make a spicy conversation where um, we have explosive back and forths or anything. But
Right. Right. I mean, we could
we just gotta try
stage
to be
that
as
if we
level-headed as we
wanted,
can.
like we could.
Yeah.
But that, but I mean, like that's not really the point of our show, but that's okay.
Hmm. Yeah, the career ladder. Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes it really weird. It definitely doesn't feel like it belongs.
it's crazy. Well, and a lot of big politicians, politicians at the national level who have been in there for a while, they're not living off their salary anyway because they're getting deals from lobbyists and they're getting investment deals
Mm.
from, these companies that are, like lobbying and paying for their campaigns and doing all that kind of stuff. And they get this
Hmm.
special deal and then yeah, it's nuts, man. But you're right. It seems to be all about them. Like politicians are interested in themselves and their careers
Yes, that's
and
right.
their wealth. They're not really interested in fixing the country. They're interested in the sound bites that are going to rile us up
Hmm.
so that they can get reelected. Oh, and also insider trading. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say though, I think Nyansa kind of makes a good point. Even if you took the money aspect out of it, you still have the other problems that really are the root of the whole thing, and which is a desire for power, desire for fame, desire for just whatever it is for yourself.
Yes.
And as Joe was saying, it's all about many times, I can't say this for every politician out there. There's just no reason to think that every politician that has ever been a politician is bad, but it's, you have this position that opens itself up to this, those who seek it are those that want that kind of power and that kind of fame or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so those are the people that you're going to find going towards it because it naturally calls those kinds of people who want those kinds of things. And so there's no way to turn that upside down that I know of. There's never been a government where that's upside down.
That's true.
Because if it's like you have to have power for people to listen to you to run a government. So to run a government, you have to have power. Okay, so how do you get people who do not want power to be there? Okay, you can do that for about maybe 5 years, where the first 5 years of your government, you can throw someone in there like, I don't want to be here. And it's like, okay, well, that's you then.
Uh-huh.
But there's no way because people will always be fighting for that position from then on.
Yeah.
And yeah. So maybe we just need to make a new government every 5 years.
Ooh.
Or less. Anarchy! No, I'm kidding.
Well, that's an interesting point you make,
it seems
too.
like chaos, though.
Well, yeah, it's crazy. And J-Ho, you're right. I think you're right. A lot of reform is needed for the whole system, for sure.
That'll always be the case.
Yep. It's crazy.
And it's good.
Yep. A lot of reform is needed. But how do you get that reform when the people who profit from the system as the way it is are the ones that decide what reforms to make?
How it reforms.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a.
And they usually make the reforms to benefit them personally. Right?
Yes, of course.
And, so that's,
of course.
Yeah. Yep. It's amazing. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's this soup we live in, right? So, but that's, there's always going to be.
I like soup.
Yeah. I like soup. People are always going to be sinful, no matter what system is in place. You're absolutely right, Beyonce. That's why, we have things like confession.
Yeah.
Which is great. Oh. You're right, J-Ho.
Jeez, Marhan, that'd be wild.
Wait, what? If we had a hot seat for all positions, if some candidate was so unliked, they having an approval rate below freezing temperatures, they are immediately removed from office without benefits. Ooh.
Yeah. I think we'd have I don't think we'd have an office.
Oh, man. Crazy. So, yeah. So, welcome to Don't Worry Politics.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's politics. Yeah. That's actually great. I don't know. What do you call it? Like a great key line for a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's politics.
Don't worry,
wow.
It's politics.
Okay. That's a good line. Yeah, I like that.
It's funny because, I'm working on this book with Kate and, so we're co-writing this book and, it's mostly, I'm not really doing much of anything. I'm just having conversations and recording the conversations and then we're transcribing the conversations and then she can take the transcriptions and edit them into a book. And it's funny because it's like she always starts going toward the political direction, and I'm just like,
yeah, that's a really unfortunate because it reminds me our priest here gave us a book. He didn't write the book; he just had the book, and it was for beginner Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave it to my wife so that she could kind of learn. And the guy that wrote the book, some kind of bishop, just would randomly go off on a soft rant about some political issues, and some of them weren't even relevant anymore. They were political issues of like 10 years ago or something. I don't know. It was weird. It was unfortunate because it distracted from actually learning what she wanted to learn, and it was like couldn't relate with the guy, and it was like it was just a bad deal. It was off-putting more than on-putting, you know.
And
So
it was a book about being Catholic.
yeah, she got mad every time she opened the book, as she said. Yeah,
And
it was about it was a book
and
for
it was
beginner Catholics, basically what it means to be Catholic, and um, you know, the different things that we believe in and why we believe in them. And the guy, whoever wrote it, just wanted to put their little Australian political takes on it.
oh man.
Yeah.
Yep, people want to put their politics in everything. You're absolutely right. I see that rampant in churches.
Yeah,
Not
it's really
just
unfortunate.
not just
Like,
Catholic church. I
get
see it
politics out of the
rampant
way.
in
Let's
the
go to God.
Catholic church too,
Mm-hmm.
but also in lots of other churches where it's like, like their politics becomes their justification for religion and vice versa and whatnot. And so like they intertwined it so much, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
it just disgusts me. I would feel the same way as you, Neon. I would get mad every time I open that book. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why is this even a thing? I almost wrote a letter to our bishop one time because the priest that I would go to this one church once in a while, and his homilies were always like, it was basically like a Fox News report, and I'm like,
Oh,
dude, like, come on, like this is like get that out of here,
that's horrible.
like come on, like.
That's awful.
He has since stopped doing that, but it's
Oh,
like
good. Yeah.
crazy. New Year's Day, you got
At your
preached at
home
your home
threshold.
threshold. Wait,
Ah,
so you had a preacher come to your door? Like, did you have like a Jehovah's Witness or Latter Day Saints or something come to your door and like try to Those are the big ones I think that go door to door. Um,
I'm guessing it was some random guy and just knocked on the door and said, "I smell sin in here. What are you sinning for?" It's sin in this household.
You're like, yeah, there's sin in every household. I
Yeah.
promise.
I bet you say that at every house
I
because you can.
promise.
I'll see you later.
Solicitation for a church down the road. I gotcha.
uh,
I mean, I understand churches wanting to do outreach and all that kind of stuff. I get it, you know. And but there's weird
mhm,
evangelization methods out there for sure.
sure. Hmm.
Yep. So
Well, yeah.
it is what it is,
You
man.
know, it
It's
kind
the
of makes
world we
sense.
live in.
People are trying to start new beginnings, and sometimes they think about God, and if someone happens to be in the right place at the right time, comes to your door and says, "Hey, we got a church down here," and then when you think, "Well, I want to go back to God," I haven't been there to church in a long time. Which one should I go to? It's like, okay, I'll go down to that one down the road that that presented itself to me the other day. They seemed friendly. So I get it. Um, it's not quite my thing, but I
Yeah.
understand it.
It's tough doing door to door sales. It's tough doing door to door religion sales. It's tough to do door to door vacuum sales. Tough to do door to door
Yeah,
AT&T service
anything. Yeah.
sales. Tough to do door to door Windows sales. Like
Mhm.
it's a tough gig, man, for sure. Because you always catch
Mhm.
people at weird moments, and then
It's hard to do door to door when you're not even trying to sell anything, man.
I know,
It's
right?
feel like it's like it's my job. I make money either way. I'm bye. Bye. Please don't yell at me. I was just dropping off a phone book, sir.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Who
Oh
has
yeah,
phone
I
books
did that for
anymore?
Yellow Pages.
You get
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just dropping
Yeah,
this
it was
off.
weird. I was working a very little bit. I was working for Yellow Pages as Yellow Pages was basically ending their company.
Yeah.
I think they might still be around, but they're so downsized that it's like there's nothing left
Hmm.
of Yellow Pages compared
I
to
was
what it used to be.
I always thought being a process server would be a tough job.
A process server?
Yeah, process server. Someone who
Oh,
like when
I was
like
okay. Yeah.
delivers like lawsuits and stuff like that.
My brother did that.
Yeah. Ugh.
That is crazy and dangerous. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that they let civilians do that.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think that'd be reserved for policemen only because that seems like that it's just really bad idea to just let civilians do that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And repo people. Yeah. That'd be terrifying.
Yep. Repo people. Repo people.
Repo people.
Okay, Marhandi says, so what's the palate cleanser to have a Don't Worry Wednesday be a fun and inclusive place? Do we have a topic?
Yeah.
Or do we try and share plans, resolutions for the upcoming events or for the new year? We do have a few
Mahoney,
topics.
awesome.
So, yeah. I mean, if you guys want to share New Year's resolutions, I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions. I feel like you can make resolutions at any time, not necessarily just at New Year's. I understand.
Maybe it's because of my upbringing, but same. I've never once made a resolution.
Yeah.
Wasn't a part of our family thing.
Yeah.
I don't think my mom's ever mentioned it.
Yeah.
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 Beetlejuice. Okay, yeah.
Nice. Hey, me Anglios. Good to see you. Ooh, go to England in the fall. I hear England is nice in the fall. I hear lots of places are nice in the fall. Fall is my favorite.
Fall's your favorite. Fair enough.
It is. All right.
Fall. Yeah, better than spring in America. Sorry, in Michigan.
Spring is gross.
Spring is just mud.
It's mud.
In Michigan.
Yeah.
As mud and snow. It is awful. But fall's not bad.
Yeah, fall's great. I like that.
Yeah, make a lifetime resolution. Yeah, any second I want. That's right. Yeah. I'm not against New Year's resolutions. I think it's great for people who are trying to change themselves, get better. I think that's awesome. It's always good.
Yep.
Yep.
But
hey,
just
Wix,
keep
welcome.
in mind, you can always make a resolution. It doesn't have to be for New Year's. It's just New Year's is kind of convenient because it's a new year. It feels like new beginnings. Feel like shedding something old and moving on to something new. So it is a great time to make a resolution and to do that. And it does get interesting though, because it's just like, okay, if I make a resolution, I know that it's going to require developing a habit. And that's gonna take a minimum of 3 weeks, I think.
That's the hardest part too.
Yep. The big thing with resolutions is commitment. You're absolutely right. Hey Wix, Happy New Year. It's good to see you. Welcome.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes. So, all right. Well, what do you say we jump into a topic?
Let's do that.
All right. We've got some topics here. We got one about money problems. And that could go well. J-Ho just said money is gonna be hard. And it can be, for sure. So let's see. Oh wait, no, it's submitted by a person named Money Problems. Gotcha. All right. The title of the topic is Job Hobbies. Sounds like an interesting topic.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we'll start with this one. Again, we're not professionals. And if you have a topic you'd like us to talk about, you can go to don'tworrywednesday.com, submit the topic there. You can submit it here in the chat, and we'd be happy to talk about it. So, yes, but we will jump into this topic from Money Problems called Job Hobbies. And I'm going to put it up on the screen for you so you can read it along. Read it out loud while I read it silently. Or switch that, actually. All right, let's get this up here. Here we go. All right. And this is called Job Hobbies. It reads like this. I always be monetizing everything I do. It's exhausting. I have no hobbies. When I pick up a new hobby, I turn it into a job. It sucks the passion out of everything. How do I stop? Ooh,
good question.
That's a really good question. Money problems.
It's a hard one.
I appreciate you sending us this topic. Because you know what, to be quite honest, I kind of do the same thing sometimes. Where I'll start doing something and then I immediately start thinking, I wonder if I could turn this into an income stream somehow. I wonder if I could turn this into
Yeah.
something passive. I wonder if I could do whatever. And the thing is, in the information age that we're in, you kind of can. Because like whatever hobby
Hmm.
you decide you want to do, you could just like live stream it and build a community around it, and then then you're gonna get
Hmm.
some revenue, or whatever. You can, you
Yeah.
know, you can create some kind of product. You can, whatever. Um, so there's a lot you can do, but yeah, I think, one of the keys is to it's hard, especially when you're stressed about money, to not think about other ways to make money, and like anything at your fingertips can be a moneymaker. And so you're like, how can I turn this into something? But then it does kind of suck the life out of it sometimes, especially if it's a hobby that you love doing. And then it's no longer just for fun. Now it becomes your job, and it becomes a lot more difficult, a lot more stressful. And, I don't know, Ryan, did you see that some in music?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like yes and no. Um, I felt like being my job being making music, it didn't really change my experience of writing music. But with that does come the responsibility when it's like, well, now I'm the one that's, making money, and people are counting on me to make that money.
Mm.
And with that comes this feeling of like, well, now I have to do it. And
Yeah,
then it ruins the joy of creation, free
sure,
creation.
sure.
Because when you like, I don't, I can imagine God, not that I can actually relate with God or anything, but I imagine God just creating the world is a different kind of creation when he's doing it because he sees the joy and the beauty in it. And he's like looking for, it's like, I get to do this out of my free will. And I just like, I want it. And this is going to be cool. Like, let's check it out. Let's see what happens. Let's watch it. Let's watch it unfold compared to something like everybody's, you know, pressuring him, and he's like, okay, well, I have to do it because everyone's relying on me now. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different feeling, because you have different stakes, you have different um, reasons, and different, out of that comes a different kind of reward. And I suppose the reward of being someone who is making money, or being someone who's providing for someone or whatever, that's a reward in itself, that feeling. You could say that, but the act of creating becomes less because you're actually less free, because
Ah.
you're bound by the reason that you're creating, which is not necessarily for just interest, for seeing where it goes, for thinking about the good that can come out of it, and the joys of it being itself.
Mm,
Instead, you're thinking, what are the goods that are going to come out of it turning into profit? Not
mm-hmm.
it being itself, but it turning into profit for me. And yeah, I think that rips the joy out of it, and for a lot of people, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Hmm.
it becomes this. Uh, I'm drawing a blank as far as the word is concerned, but it becomes this focus on money that then tends to ruin things, right? So,
Hmm.
and it's hard, like especially if you don't have very much money, and you don't have the means to even take care of yourself or pay your bills, and you're stressed about money a lot. Then it becomes a very stressful thing in your life, because now you're thinking about money, you're attaching this thing that you love to do to money, and money is a stressor for you. So now that thing gets wrapped up into that stressful mentality, and that can be really, really difficult. um and so that's
Yeah.
why a lot of times, in businesses that I've been a part of, it's like, yeah, I focus on, money a little bit. I try to think about, all right, we got to make sure we're not being wasteful. We got to make sure we're not, like doing these things in a way that, is going to make us go out of business, right? Because if you can easily spend your way out of business, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
If you're not careful. So it's good to have people that are monitoring the money and doing it well. But when we aren't attached emotionally to the money and instead we're focused on the thing we're doing and we don't think about the money about it, then we can retain that joy. We can retain that, wonder in it. When I'm
Mhm.
when I'm working in the cabinet building business, I'm not thinking about money when I'm working. I'm thinking about what I'm creating, right? And it's the same with
Mhm.
music. Like when you talk about making music, it's like I don't want to be thinking about all this other business stuff. I want to be thinking about the music I'm creating, you know?
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah. I mean, I have an interesting relationship with that because I remember like the first job I ever had was Taco Bell.
Mm,
And I remember multiple people said, "Well, yeah, I'm here for the money.
mm-hmm,
That's the only reason I work is because I need money to pay the bills and so on and so forth." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I've never even once thought of that. I'm not here for the money. Like, why are you here then? Like, that's weird. Why are you here?" And I'm like, I mean, I guess I got employed here because I needed a job for money, but that's not why I showed up today. I showed up today because there's people who are counting on me. And And I think that's generally why my attitude was, I mean, there's a lot of reasons my attitude tended to be on the higher side in the establishment, but I think one of the reasons is because I was not focused on why I was there for the money just to get by, It wasn't like, oh, I have to do this because I need to pay the bills. I didn't feel like I had to do anything. I was there
mm-hmm,
because I was just willing to I had people there that I wanted to be friends with, not just be friends with, but they were my friends at work, and I wanted to help them out. I didn't want to let them down. I wanted to give myself. I wanted to have other people feel that joy that I could bring them. When I would be working the counter at Taco Bell and people would come up and I'd smile at them and we'd have a short conversation and they'd get on their way. It was nice. It was a good time.
mm-hmm,
And there was nothing holding me back from having the freedom of enjoying those things because there wasn't anything on my mind that I was a slave to in those moments. And I think that, yeah, so kind of just harkening back to what I was saying before. But I think we often end up in this position. I think a lot of us end up in this position where we have a hobby, we have something we like, and we think, well, I want to do what I like for a living. And, I got to make money. So then you find something that you like and you're like, okay, now I got to turn into a job then.
mm-hmm,
And that's normal. And I also think that it's very normal to, in the world that we grew up in, especially the Western world, I don't know what it is like necessarily in the East, but especially in the Western world, um, money is a very big deal. And if you're not making money with your time, you're, quote, wasting your time. You're wasting your life.
mm-hmm,
If you play a video game, most people look at you. Not, I wouldn't say that's true anymore, but a lot of people, I remember growing up, a lot of people look at you if you're playing a video game or something. They just think that you're wasting your time. You're wasting your life away. What are you doing with yourself? Get out there and do something useful. And I remember that being the mentality generally about video games, about a lot of things. And as a kid, I felt that pressure, even though it wasn't even directed at me. You just felt it in the world. You don't want to be a grown up playing video games because then everyone's going to look at you like you're I don't know, like you're scum. Like you're the scum of the earth that's
mm-hmm,
just you know, not providing anything to society, not helping anybody, not doing any good. And I have a mind that always likes to kind of counteract and investigate these things and point out the illusions. So I didn't buy into it completely, but at the same time, I think it's very normal to have this feeling of like, well, if I'm doing something with my time, in order for it to be not a waste of time, it has to have some sort of monetary value attached because that's the way that we're trained to think.
mm-hmm,
Monetary gain, not a waste of time. Anything else, waste of time.
mm-hmm,
What did you spend your time on? What did you get out of it? Nothing. You didn't get anything. You didn't get any money out of that. Okay, well then that was a waste of time, right?
mm-hmm,
That's kind of the thinking. But I think we have to get away from this. If that's in our head, which it's probably in a lot of our heads, we have to address it and fight it and be like, no, the point of life isn't to just accumulate wealth and die. That doesn't make any sense.
mm-hmm,
That's not a basis for what's worth doing or not worth doing.
Mhm.
Money is not bad, but money also isn't a source of like holiness or goodness. Like it is just a tool, and sometimes it's how we trade things. Oftentimes it's how we exchange goods for goods, services for services, trade. That's all it is. And so I think if we can get out of if we can confront whenever we feel this like feeling of like, well, I'm wasting time here, reevaluate that situation and be like, no, getting money out of this doesn't make it worth my time,
Mm.
and we have to fight that feeling if we notice it. So I don't know if that's one of the root causes, because you're asking, what do you do to stop this from happening? And I'd say if your mind lingers to going like, okay, I've got this fun hobby, I'm enjoying it. How do I make money out of it so that, and I would say if you start thinking that thought, maybe I'm wrong about why, but question it. Question the thought. That's the only thing I think one of the best things you can do is question the thought. Like, why did that thought come to me? Is the thought truthfulness in itself? No, it's just a thought. So let's examine it and figure out, why did that thought come to me? And if you don't know, that's okay. But try to truly address, is it worth making it a monetary thing, losing the joy out of it, because now it's about money, it's not about the thing you're doing. And, is it worth risking that? Or is it worth just saying, no, not everything has to be about money in this world.
Mm.
Not everything is, and just letting it go, letting it slide and say, I'm going to ignore the money that I could make out of this. It's like, well, I could make money out of it. It wouldn't be that hard. All I had to do is set up this one thing, the other thing, and I'd be making money out of this. That's pretty cool. It's like, this is kind of where self-control comes in. It's important to have self-control in life and a lot of things. And you wouldn't think this is one of them, because you'd think, oh, the more self-controlling I am, the more money I'll have, the more wealth I'll have, the more joy I'll have, the more everything. It's like, well, if you have self-control, then you need to recognize that the joy that you get out of it might be squashed by this idea of money. Because, I mean, me and my wife, we don't even really care about money, but yet this happens anyways. You find a hobby, you're enjoying it, and you're thinking, well, why don't we make money out of it? It happens. Even though it's like, we don't even care that much about money. Money isn't something that rules our lives. It's not something that interests us, and it's never something that motivates us. In fact, it demotivates us a lot of times. If money becomes part of the equation, it
Yes.
demotivates us. Why? Because it's no longer about the thing, it's about the money.
Right.
And that's not a person, that's not creative, that's nothing. That's just something you're going to throw away for another thing at some point. And then that thing is going to last for a while, and then it's going to break, and you're going to throw that away. It's like, it's not a joy. Money isn't a joy for us. So even though money isn't a joy for us, we have to have the self-control at times to say, you know what? This probably isn't something we should try to figure out how to make money out of. It's like, I enjoy incense. I enjoy candles that smell good. But if I get into it too much and I start thinking, well, maybe I could like get into the hobby of like being a collector of incense and like selling it. Ooh, that could be really interesting. And it's like, no, like, just get the incense and enjoy it. It's like, do your prayers. That's fun. Like, that's cool. But like, don't try to make it into something you profit from, especially if you associate it with something like God. And then all of a sudden, this thing that was for God now becomes something that becomes for yourself and for your own money and for your own material gain. Right.
Right.
And so that's where self-control has to come in. You're going to have these thoughts, and maybe some of the thoughts are, like inspired by demons, if you will, right? These are bad thoughts. They sound good. They look like good things. They look like right things. They look, a lot of things that we indulge in are good things. But when we overindulge, it's bad for us. Good things become bad when we overindulge, and that's the way it is. And that's true here too. It's like you really enjoying something, and then you're trying to make it your whole life by making it your income. and that's going to take up, therefore, like 8 hours of your day. And it's like you're trying to reap the satisfaction out of this hobby that it has no place trying to give you. Because the satisfaction that you're looking for, whether it be the monetary satisfaction or just the satisfaction of really enveloping your life into it, neither of those things will satisfy you.
Hmm.
In fact, the more free from that you are, the more satisfied you'll be because you're not bound by those objectives.
Mm-hmm.
You're free to just experience it, enjoy it, but not be addicted. Be free to experience it, enjoy it, and not be bound to it because it's now your life source, your income, your way of getting food. So I think a little bit of self-control. When you notice it, just say, no, this doesn't belong there. It's a good idea. It's smart. If like it's a smart idea, but that doesn't mean it's a good idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are two different things,
Mm-hmm.
right? Something could be smart, but also evil. We know that's true.
Yeah,
Very incredibly intelligent evil schemes happen in the world,
you bet.
and very intelligent, incredibly good schemes happen in the world. And so you have to pick. And so just because something's smart, a brilliant idea, a great way to make money, doesn't mean you should, because it might not be the point in your life for the reason for having that in your life,
Right.
And so I'd say there might be something even smarter, even more good than just that smart idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's what I have on that. And yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
What? No, I was letting you go, man.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I interrupted you, but
No,
I know I kind of didn't.
I
But
kind of handed it off to you unofficially
you handed
without
it over.
handing it off to
Yeah.
you. It just
Okay.
was like,
Okay.
okay, there
I
you
feel better now.
go. Yeah, no, I wanted you to go. The man says, "Can we overindulge in being moral or good health?" And I would say yes. J-Ho's got a good answer to that. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Obsession can be done with anything, and I think you're right on that, J-Ho.
Yeah.
We can get obsessed about anything. I don't think it's necessarily bad to be obsessed about something. Because if what obsession is just like a strong focus on whatever it is, that can be a good thing. It can always be taken too
Mm.
far. And I think probably when you're talking about morality or good health or whatever, stuff like that, I think the question is, I think it can be an overindulgence if you start to think of yourself as better than other people in some way, shape, or
Yeah.
form.
Pride that seeps in there.
What's that? The pride. Yes, the
Yeah.
pride.
Pride. Yeah.
Pride
Sure.
seeps in, and so then it's just like, so you run into people like moralists. I've met people that are moralists, and they're like, oh, and they look down upon you if you do something immoral, or
Mm.
you look at. We had so I still hear it, like, and not really wanting to be political or anything like that, but I know a lot of people who really look down upon people in the LGBTQ community and stuff like that. And it's like, and they're like, oh, but they're sinful and they're doing this sinful stuff. And I'm like, bro, you are sinful too.
Sure. Everybody is.
Like, just because you don't have the
Everyone's
same
making bad
sins
choices.
doesn't mean so stop it. And I'm just always, and so I'm like, dude, leave them alone. And like, and then it became this movement, and then and so we have all these fights about all this stuff, and it's because people feel this pride. And I'm not saying a healthy kind of pride, like, hey, I'm secure in who I am, I feel good about myself. I mean, that's a good healthy kind of pride, right? When you're confident and you're secure in yourself, that's good. But it becomes prideful when you start thinking of yourself as better than another person. You start looking down upon other people because they act a certain way, or because they're not eating the same foods as you, or they don't work out. Like J-Ho says, gym bros and rats and stuff, like, yeah, like when
Mhm.
whenever we start to kind of put ourselves above another person, then it can become an overindulgence. And that's probably the only way I would say you could overindulge in good health or morality or something like that. When you start to think of yourself as, oh, I'm so much better than them. You don't even need to say it out loud. If you have the thought, where I'm better than this person because of this, like then you're
Yeah,
you're kind of stepping over the line into an overindulgence. Um, and it's really like
sure.
Ryan was talking about, it's the pride issue at that point.
It
Um,
reminds me of the passage in the Bible with the guy who beats his chest and says, "I'm just a sinful man, so please, have mercy because I'm awful," And then there's this other guy who's praying. He's like, "God, thank you for not making me like that crap, over there," And God's like, "Dude, that is not how you pray to someone," essentially. You don't just point at someone else and say, "I'm better than them. Thank you for making me better than them." Like
mhm,
that is awful. But yeah, sorry. Carry
right.
on.
Yep. So it's crazy. So getting back to kind of like the whole money topic here and doing these things to make money, um it's not bad to think of ways to make money with things that you do. However, if you find yourself, you find that it's sucking the joy out of it, then maybe ask the question, where did that come from? Where did that thought process of I need to make this about making money come from? When did it stop becoming something you enjoy doing and something you have to perform in order to get some kind of a gain from? And sometimes those reasons are buried deep within us. I've been on this long journey of shadow work. And shadow work, it's Jungian psychology from Carl Jung. He was a Swedish psychologist, or Swiss psychologist. Um, and he came up with this shadow idea, and our shadow is the stuff that we kind of suppress and hide, and like things that we push off into the shadows, parts of ourselves, because we're embarrassed about it, or we were told that they're not good, or they don't fit into society well, and we were told these things. And a lot of times those are rooted in our formative years in our childhood. And so there might be something that happened to you, or something you were taught from a parent or a teacher or a religious leader, or some kind of authority figure that taught, like Ryan was talking about, if it's not making money, it's a waste of time, right? Like, because you hear that. You hear that, oh, well, you're not working. You're doing this entertainment thing. How much money are you making, or whatever, blah, 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 blah. You're not doing this to make any money. And it can be a real problem, because then we start feeling guilty about taking time to have fun, or taking time to do something we enjoy, or getting into something that we like, which is not a problem, right? I mean, it, it's okay. And here's the other thing. As you were talking, Ryan, I was thinking about this. It was so funny because you're like, people, when you're playing video games and people are like, oh, well, you're not making any money playing video games, so therefore it's a waste of time and you're lazy, right? And so they
Hmm.
pass all this judgment on you because you're doing something that you enjoy. You're not in it to make money. You're not trying to do it to make money. You're doing it because it's fun for you, right? And it's like
Hmm.
it's not like you're being lazy. It's just that you're doing this to have fun, right?
Yeah.
The same people who say that kind of stuff also will be like, oh man, you're working way hard. You're burning the candle at both ends. These 14-hour work days, like you're really, oh, I don't know. I'm concerned about you. I'm like, take your concern and go somewhere else with it. Because, like, seriously, you can't have it both ways. Either I'm being really lazy, or now here I am working like my butt off a ton, and you're going to criticize me for that too. It's like, just shut up. Like, I'm sorry, but it's kind of
Yeah.
frustrating, because I kind of grew up with that, and then I was in a marriage where, like, it got to the point where any action I took had to be in the pursuit of making some kind of monetary gain. And any relationship I had, any friendships I had, I couldn't just have a regular friendship. They had to be, I had to do, I could only be friends with people that I was making money with. And so then over these years of this mentality, I had to get into the idea of, okay, I have this person. I really like them. I like hanging out with them. They're really cool. And I want to keep doing that. How can I make them a colleague?
Yeah.
Like how can I wrap them into some kind of business idea so I can be making money with them? Because that's the only way I could have a friendship in the marriage I was in. And it's crazy. Because it's like, where do you draw the line?
It was incredibly so.
What's that?
Just Jeho says that sounds toxic. I was like, yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, it's definitely that. So, anyway, I would question if you feel like you need to take all of your hobbies and turn them into monetary gain, there might be something deeper that you were raised to believe or programmed to believe by, people around you, that's what you need to do. And it's just not true.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ryan said so very well, like not everything you do has to make money. You can do things just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything has to have some kind of economic gain. But we're kind of programmed that way. And I know when I went through school and growing up, there was a huge emphasis put on what you're going to do for a job and how you're going to be successful, quote unquote successful. And it was weird because successful was always attached to a high income. But heaven forbid, in the area that I grew up in, like you had to have a good job that paid well, but you couldn't be a business owner because those people were all crooks. Entrepreneurship was severely frowned upon. And what I'm learning is there's just this mentality. There's this factory mentality from where I grew up. And I think it was implanted so that none of us would go out on our own. None of us would go out on their own. We would always go work for the people who owned the businesses. And I think the people who own the businesses kind of put these systems into place to discourage us from doing things on our own. So then we'd be good corporate slaves. There's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, that was really weird.
No,
I mean, I felt that too. It's very weird. Very weird. Like people would, like you'd like come up with an idea like, hey, I got this really cool idea to like make people happy with this really cool idea, and I think you could make a business out of it, and so on and so forth. But then people just shut you down and be like, no, you need to not focus on that. You need to make sure you get an education because that's going to be more secure, and do all this other stuff. And I get that they're in their minds, they're looking out for you because they care about your security. But it's like, how did you get to a point where you stopped encouraging ideas that were genuine? That part's weird.
Yeah. What's the J-Ho, thanks. I enjoy the theme parks that I take pictures at.
Yeah. Oh man, I really want to go to a theme park with you, Joe.
I do too.
My wife and I would love that.
We got to do it this summer. Actually, we need to go to Saudi Arabia now.
Whoa. There's something in Saudi Arabia?
Yes. There's a new Six Flags in Qiddiya City, Saudi Arabia. And true to Saudi form, I mean, just think of Dubai, right? They always have the biggest and the greatest and the best of everything over in Dubai, right? They did the same thing at
that's
this
what they
Six
say.
Flags.
Never been there.
Every roller coaster is a record-breaking roller coaster. As far as height, speed, distance, whatever, like all of them. And so like now they have Falcon's Flight. If you look, now they have like POV videos of Falcon's Flight, and it's like the tallest, fastest, craziest roller coaster on the planet.
Okay.
Now. Yeah. Like the second, their Camelback Hill, like you have your main drop, and then the Camelback is the second one that you go over, or Top Hat, people call them different things, right? Their Camelback Hill is like 100 feet taller than the former tallest roller coaster in the world, like the main
Wow.
drop. Up until like so,
Oh,
for a while it was
that's
King
insane.
Ka that was the tallest, and then it went back to Top Thrill because
Mm-hmm.
they demolished King Ka, and then it
Updated.
was Top Thrill 2, which was 420 feet tall. The
Okay.
Camelback on Falcon's Flight is 525 feet
That's
tall.
insane.
And
What?
I think it has a drop of like 640. I think,
Oh my gosh, that would be
but they
insane.
kind of cheated because they used the cliff that it's built on, right? And so it's not
Well,
like
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've got the landscape, go for it. I like that. I like that. You know, whenever I played Roller Coaster Tycoon as a kid, I would dig into the mountain and just like, because it was like you in the game, I know it's a silly thing, but in the game you could only put like something so many tiles up before you hit the ceiling of what the game allowed. And I was like, I'm gonna break this. I'm gonna dig a hole as deep as it goes. And so then, I could get the biggest roller coaster you could possibly get.
yeah,
So I have an inside appreciation of using a cliff.
yes, yes. Well, and it's kind of
So
cool because you go through the first
even
bit
if
of
it's
this
cheating.
roller coaster, and then you
Yeah.
launch up this mountain up onto this cliff, and then you're like doing this kind of meandering around over the edge of the cliff, like it kind of takes you out over the edge, and
Ooh.
you're like, hey, and you're kind of meandering around at the
Oh.
top of this thing, and then you stop,
Ooh.
and then you go down this drop straight 90 degrees down the side of this cliff face,
Oh my gosh. That
and then
sounds
kind of
so
and then
crazy.
kind of level
I
off,
love
and
it.
then when you start leveling off, then there's a launch, and it like launches you. The
Really?
fastest part is not the decline off the cliff. That's not the fastest part because they take that momentum and then they put you into a launch and
And they
launch
add
you up
to it?
that, and they launch you up that 525-foot hill.
Dang,
I
that
like
is
I
awesome.
want to ride this so bad, but I have to go to all the way to Saudi Arabia to do it, man. Like,
Oh my gosh, that's nuts.
yep.
That's cool.
But, I mean, and that's great. These record breaking coasters are great, but still, some of my favorites are not the tallest. You don't have to have like height and
Yeah,
stuff to do all
sure.
this kind of stuff. I mean, Maverick at Cedar Point is a great example. It's one of the best rides on earth, and it's less than
Mm,
100 feet tall.
it's fun.
Yeah, it's
That's
cool.
great.
But anyway, so you're going to get me on this roller coaster kick now. I'm sorry.
Tangent.
This is
Yeah.
no, it's going to be Don't
Now you
Worry
done it.
Roller
Now you
Coaster
done saying it.
Wednesday, like um
Yeah.
the man says lazy is often a reductive term. There are many factors to willingness, action, mental health, physical health, whether or not you individually like the task. If someone doesn't like being a pharmacist, I don't think they're necessarily lazy if they aren't doing their job or quit, right? And that's true because most of us, when we have our jobs, sometimes we love our jobs, and then some days we absolutely hate our jobs.
Yeah, it could be the same job. Yeah.
Yep. So if you're looking for some kind of a job, I would ask. So a lot of times they ask the question, "What do you like to do?" And that's what you should do for a living because you like doing it. And I think that's great. But then you can run into easily when you start doing something for money and you start focusing on, how much money am I making? How am I doing this as a career? And people will be happy to get you to focus on that, how much you're making in that job. And then you tell them, and then they're like, oh, that's not very much. And people are always like, they take their own income, and that's where they base their perspective from a lot of times. And so if you're making less than them, they might look down at you.
Sure.
Oh, well, that's cute. That's cute. And if you're
Mhm.
making close to the same
If you make,
amount as them, they respect you a little bit more. But if you're making more than them, now you're greedy
then you're just lucky.
or
Yeah, you're
lucky.
greedy. Yeah,
you
you're
know.
greedy or lucky. It's one of the two. Hmm.
So here's the thing. Somewhere along the line, I would imagine if you're doing this, um, I, I hate calling you money problems.
Hey, money
Hey,
problems.
money problems, because I know that's not your name, but so I know you're trying to be anonymous here. But if this is something that's continuous, I would say there's probably something psychologically that goes in to play, and you're a little bit connected with the opinion of somebody who put that into your head, right? Like I was very concerned about the opinions of my parents and teachers and all that kind of stuff who taught me all this kind of stuff, and they embedded these things into my psyche where everything I had to do was about how much money I was going to make at it. And then when I got married, same
Yeah.
thing, whereas like everything I did, it had to have some kind of financial gain or else it was useless to do. And I had to really wrestle with that. And it was not
Mhm.
about me. It was about how I had been turned into this performance-based creature. And that's not what life's about.
Mhm.
There's so
I
much
think
more to
a
life
really
than
good
that.
way to, I don't know if you're a religious person, money problems, but that is really weird to call someone that.
I know,
It's
right?
like an insult of a name.
It's weird.
Anyways, but on your part, Joe, I think it's like if you've got your parents and they're religious people, and it's like they make everything about money, but then you could say, well, is prayer should I is praying about money? And the answer would be no. It's like you don't want to make that about money. Like
Mhm.
you could pray for money. It's like come on. There's so many it's like, okay. But I mean, it's like that shouldn't be, you don't pray to make money. And if you have a successful relationship with God, it's more important than the money you make.
Mhm.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know. There's a line of thinking there that just kind of counteracts the whole thing. And it's like, okay, so clearly not everything's about money.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Very true. Now we do live in a time when money can be very difficult to come by. J-Ho
Yeah.
says kitchen work wage disparity is wild, and I would agree with you there. For as stressful as it is to work as a cook, and I was a grill cook, line cook at a bar and grill
It's
for a while.
stressful.
It was one of the most stressful jobs I've ever had in my life, and it
People
paid
look down on
basically
fast food
minimum wage.
restaurant workers, but
Dude, it's so stressful
yeah,
in there.
it is so stressful. Like that kind of environment, cooking, anything in the kitchen is one of the most stressful environments you can be in for
Yep,
work.
you bet. And it doesn't generally pay very well.
No.
And it's hard. Like restaurants, like I hear from like restaurant owners that they're hard to make profitable with food costs, with like they can't afford to pay these people very much because it's a tough business to make very good money in. You're really being
Mhm.
mindful of a lot of these things all the time. And you got all kinds of regulations, you got all kinds of permits you got to have and license, blah, 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 because now you're dealing with stuff that people are putting into their bodies,
Mhm.
so it takes a great bit of care. It's just nuts. And so
Yeah.
it's a tough business. And so I don't know. I don't necessarily know what the answer is all the time, you know? Because we work and we try our best and we try to make money and we try and, provide a lifestyle for ourselves, and if we've got a family, our families too, and we just do what we can. And at some point it becomes, you know, I probably would encourage you, Dave Ramsey's a good one, thinking about money that you're making in whatever job that you have, just being really, really, really good at managing it. And if you can get into, you can put good money habits into automation in your life as habits, then you can be a lot more comfortable in that area, and it can, it just make things a little bit better and less stressful, and maybe you wouldn't have to be as focused on money. But I would bet money problems that um somewhere in your life there was some kind of programming that you got that made you focus inordinately on the making of money and how important that was, and stuff like that. And So you might have to do some digging to kind of figure out why. It's weird. I can't go into all the different aspects of shadow work, but like that's that's something that's really helped me to kind of unravel a lot of these idiosyncrasies that I have in my life and help me kind of be more at peace with who I am and what I'm here to do and what I'm all about, and kind of get rid of some of this old baggage that I've been carrying around for years by accepting who I am as a person rather than always being always thinking of myself as less than because I have these shadows that I had to suppress. Um, oh man. I hate getting the smell of burgers wafting into my clothes, and it's pretty strong from just a single burger. Cooking would kill me.
Yes.
That's great.
Anyway.
Anyway.
That's kind of interesting. I just want to say one last interesting thought on this that I had, which kind of guided me there. They said also making a budget and including this fun stuff in the budget might help. And then I thought about, it's like, yeah, and that is true. I think that could help. And then I thought about, there's this weird phenomenon. If you put a game out there that's free to play completely, and people download it, or even if it's not a game, let's say people get a car for free or a toy for free, right? They enjoy it, or maybe they throw it away. But it's like their willingness to come to enjoy it is far less than when they pay for it themselves. If you buy a car yourself, I've noticed this in a lot of people who buy their own car, they take good care of that car for a long time. People who inherit a car or, they're given a car by their mom or dad or whatever, they trash it. I've seen people who, like, if they play the game could be free or the game could cost $20. If they pay, it's the same game basically. They play the game for free. They point out all of the bugs, the flaws, why they don't like it. That it's just not a fun game. They pay $20 for it. Whole mindset on the game is different. They're like, man, I really like this aspect about it. It was kind of cool that they put this in the game. It's like really weird, but it makes sense. Now let's turn this around and make it about your hobbies. If you are making money through your hobbies, doesn't that lessen the value of the hobby? Because the amount of money you've spent on the hobby is now negative because you've made money with it.
Because now you're making money.
So the amount of enjoyment you can reap and your perspective of it is, this thing didn't cost me money, it made me money. So your appreciation of it is actually less because it didn't cost you something in terms of money. Now it's paid you something for getting to enjoy it. And that feeds back into that loop of, well, it's not that valuable to me in what it is because it didn't cost anything. When people sacrifice for something, they love it more. That's the reason, that's one of the great reasons for sacrifice. Sacrifice is something that you do out of love, but it returns love. When you make a sacrifice, you make a sacrifice, you're like, or a cost, any kind of cost. You pay a cost for something good, you cherish it, right? But if you're reducing the cost of it by getting all of this monetary system worked inside of it, you're actually reducing the amount that you had to pay for it. And then you're also reducing the cost and you're reducing the sacrifice, even though it's actually way more work and it is a bigger cost. But in your internal mind, you're thinking sort of like this, you look at it less as something to pay for. You look at less as something to sacrifice for. You look at it less as something that you are paying the price to achieve. and it becomes more about what you gain out of it. And you actually start weighing the sacrifice and saying, I don't want it to be a sacrifice. I want it to be a gain, 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 and me not to have to sacrifice anything monetarily or time-wise or whatever. And so you've taken this love, this form of love, which is sacrifice, and you've completely flattened it, and there's no sacrifice at all anymore. So there's no cost for it. So there's no real honest joy. You didn't pay a price for it. You just, you snuffed it. You snuffed the joy out because you snuffed the sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I don't know. I just think that's, yeah.
It's true. The more we invest in things, the more attached we become to them.
Yeah.
That's
right.
And it could be relationships, and it can be things, and it can be activities, and it can be all that kind of stuff, right? The more we put into something, the more we kind of fall in love with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we see it as important to us, important enough to invest our time and our energy and our resources into. And the more we do that, the more we see, the importance in it, right? And so, yeah, psychologically, that checks out. Hey, Jeff. Thank you.
Hey, Jeff.
Enjoy your dinner.
Oh, what's for dinner?
The man quit all gacha games due to addiction.
Yeah, that's good. Good. I'm glad you did.
Purchases. Yeah, it's true. They gotcha. I wonder if that's why they call them gacha games, because they gotcha.
Gotcha.
they gotcha.
I think so.
In this addiction, it can totally be the case.
Yeah,
it falls along the same lines as like gambling addiction and stuff like that a lot of times, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised. It is mind blowing to me that gotchas are allowed, especially in games with like children play it, because it's gambling. I'm like, this is straight up gambling. This is what gambling is. This is the definition of gambling. It's gambling, right? Like, but the thing is, like, they say it's not gambling because you do get a reward. It's just not necessarily like a great one. And it's like, okay, fine. And then they have this other thing, which 100% is gambling, which is, I forget the word of it. But they're saying it's not. I can't remember. It's like profit share, profit. I don't remember what it is. But anyways, it's in the political system right now, and they're discussing it. I'm like, guys, there's no discussion here. It is 100% gambling because no one's even making any money unless they win. Like,
right.
And the person that's making the most money is the people who are running the system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The house always wins, man. The house always wins.
Yes, the house always wins. Profit. Is it called profit share? I don't remember. Anyways, it's this whole silly thing. Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Gotcha comes from the Japanese word gachapon, which describes capsule toy vending machines where you crank a handle and the little toy drops. I gotcha.
Which is exactly what I was going to refer it to, because I was like, it's like those games when you're a kid, you go to a vending machine, you turn something and it drops out and you're like, well, I did win a prize for the quarter. It just wasn't what I wanted. So then you go again and you go again.
Yeah.
But.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
We can get hooked on stuff like that. It's nuts. But anyway, hopefully, money problems. I hope our discussion has helped you to some degree here, and I would really I'd like to see you find a little bit more peace in your hobbies for sure, because they're there to be fun. They're there to help you enjoy your time and your life and stuff like that. That's one of the things that I've had to reassess about myself, because it's like I turn into. I'm a pretty hard worker, and I do the work I do. I enjoy, right? And so it's okay it's fine with me to work a lot of hours, but it's also exhausting. And I've had to learn how to like set aside playtime, set aside time to just rest, set aside time where I'm not in the pursuit of a goal of some kind, and I'm just relaxed and enjoying myself and having fun. because it really does take, I mean, we're not here to just be some kind of economic machine. There's value in all of us that goes beyond the amount of money we make. And our interests and
Mhm.
our likes and and the things we get into and all that, regardless of money, um, that it makes us each unique. And it makes us each, like
Mhm.
it makes us each special in that way. And it's really cool. So I don't know. Those are things I've had to learn even at my young age that I am.
Yes, very young age of 100, 200 something, maybe
Yeah, I'm
9. I
like
don't
I'm
know.
like
Depends on
273 today, I think.
oh, wow. That's what you think. Hey, when you get that high, you don't, it's hard to
you
remember and
just
keep
you just
count.
don't even remember anymore. I'm like at least 243, give or
Yeah.
take 100
By the
years.
way, I found it. They're called prediction markets.
Oh,
They're, oh, that doesn't sound like gambling. Prediction markets. Yeah, just like, okay, so this is what it is. Platforms allow users to trade contracts on the outcomes of political events such as elections and policy changes. So they're betting on political events
oh my gosh.
and they're allowed to trade those contracts, which are money. And they're saying it's not
What
gambling,
are we doing?
it's prediction markets.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know.
Dude, I'm sorry.
It's hilarious. People are that brings it back to our original topic here, I guess.
Yeah,
Politics.
politics.
People are funny.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't worry,
DPW.
it's politics.
Don't politic
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or dumb politics Wednesday or something. J-Ho, I agree. We are more than just a number. You are correct. There's
Thank you for this topic.
Yes, thank you. Um we can't do our other topic unless, well, Saule, are you here? If Saule is here, we can do the next topic. Um
Oh, I didn't know Saturday was attached to this one. That's great.
no, the next one.
Yes, I want to be president.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saule, if you're
I'm the one
here,
that
we'll do
processes
your
what I
topic. If not, we'll just probably start talking politics again. Or whatever.
Ooh, that's something new.
If you guys in the chat, if you guys in the chat have stuff for us to talk about, uh, send it to us. Wix, I gotta say,
Mhm.
I admire you for the lengths you took to quit your digital addictions. Wix says, I quit
Yeah.
most of my digital addictions completely accidentally by changing my phone's OS to Japanese, so I physically can't read most of the stuff I'd be addicted to.
That
I'm
is
like,
brilliant.
that, well, then Wix says it was an accident. And I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah, but it's
accidental
a
or
brilliant
not,
accident.
it sounds effective. So,
Hmm. Yeah,
desperately
that's
fight off
great.
worrying about the socioeconomic situation Wednesday.
Oh, no.
Catchy name. Yeah.
Wow, very catchy. Yeah.
Excuse me.
You guys going to DFOW ATSESW
Yeah.
tonight?
The Fawa since
Seswa. Yeah, the fought with Seswa.
that sounds like a German word.
The
Like
fatwa.
there are some German words that have
Yeah.
like 17 consonants in a row, and you're trying to figure out how to say that, and it's usually just kind of like, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys got some stuff for us to talk about? We'll talk about whatever. Because that was our last topic, except for Saule's, who wants to be here for it.
Hmm.
So yeah,
If you have any topics, feel free.
yep, just
We'd be
send
happy
it in
to
the
receive
chat.
them.
Actually, we didn't check. Has any other topics come in?
I
Nope,
just looked.
they
Nope.
have not. Okay, cool. So yeah, what do you guys want to talk about?
Hmm.
Don't be shy.
Come on now. You could do it.
You know what? It can be crazy. It can be. You can try and stump us. Actually, probably wouldn't be that hard. We're stumpable.
We are stumpable.
However, we will always have
Been
something
stumped
to say.
before. True.
We'll find something to say, I promise.
Even if it's, man, I don't know what to say about that. That's something.
Yeah,
Those were words.
we said it.
Yep. Does it count? I say yes.
BSSS WSSN.
That's familiar.
Yeah, what is that?
Been a long time
what does
since
that
I've seen
stand for? I
PSS,
can't.
SWSN. PSSN. Yeah. I can't even remember.
I can't remember either.
Baka, do you remember what it stood for?
Kantian ethics. I would have to look up what that is.
I don't know.
Kantian ethics. Googling it.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. That was a stumper. I see.
Kant.
What are
Kantian ethics is a
okay.
deontological moral philosophy developed by Immanuel Kant, emphasizing duty,
Yes,
moral
okay.
law, and the categorical imperative as the foundation for ethical decision making. I have not studied Kantian ethics.
I think we did we barely touched on that in philosophy when I was in college, and with any philosophical system, I think it has its own flaws, but
Sure.
I don't remember necessarily hating it, but I can't remember what the substance was anymore because it's been so long and we didn't actually do a deep dive anyways.
Yeah.
That's a good question. That was a good question because it is a bit of a stumper. I don't know much about Kant.
Okay, Kantian ethics is grounded.
I ever did.
Okay, it's grounded in the belief that the morality of an action is determined by whether it adheres to a set of rules or duties, rather than by the consequences of the action. This means that actions are morally right if they are done out of a sense of duty and in accordance with moral law. Okay, I can see that. So it's not the end justifies the means.
Right.
Goodwill. Kant poses that the only thing that is good without qualification is a goodwill. This means that the moral worth of an action is determined by the intention behind it, rather than its outcome.
Yeah, I was gonna say its intentions.
Yep.
I generally take up the, if you will, the Kantian system. I find that the intent matters more than the action. If the intent is good, then the person is good, and their intention. Obviously, people can be misguided and do terrible things out of goodwill, and that's not great. But I always feel like someone who intends to do good is going to do a lot more good in the world, generally speaking, than someone who has no intent to do good and they're just concerned about the ends.
Mm-hmm.
People will wreak a lot of havoc if the ends justify the means, but if people find that the people have good intentions throughout, they're constantly calculating what's going to be the best route. Generally, they're usually more careful because they think that a lot of times the their intention is to do good, and so they figure out, they spend time figuring out how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Without causing harm. So
without causing harm. That's
I generally
important
agree.
because I was like, because most of what you were saying, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, for some reason I was thinking about Thanos and how he snapped his fingers and got rid of half of all life in the universe, right? And so it's like,
because he thinks that's good.
Because he thinks that's good because he was doing it for a good reason, right? And so it's like, so there could be some flaws in there, but it's like any philosophy, like you said, Ryan. There are flaws in every philosophy. For sure, because we're people and we're complex, and it's pretty wild. Marhandi asks,
what's the philosophical status of criminal?
Marhandi asks, how old is BSS anyway? And how about we get a brief history lesson about the channel? Interesting.
Wow.
BSS is older than A lot of actually no, you guys are all older than BSS. BSS officially
We do have a
formed.
topic.
BSS, yes. Okay, you want to process it?
Yeah.
We'll do it real quick.
I don't know if we'll have time.
I'll give you a brief
15
history.
minutes.
Yeah, we got time.
Go for it.
Process it real quick. I'll give a little bit of BSS lore. BSS started. Okay, so if we go from the time when it was formed as an LLC and the government documentation for actually doing the business is we're about 11 years old. We or 12. That was in 2014, I think, is when we incorporated as an LLC. Before that, I think probably 2010 would be, in my mind, the starting point for BSS because that was the year we met. The founding members of BSS met at the Little Chef restaurant in Mount Pleasant, and we decided we wanted to form this company. And so that to me is the starting point for BSS. Before that, it was two separate companies, Black Static Studios and Swerve Music Company. Black Static Studios was Ryan, Swerve Music Company was me, and then we were like, well, let's just be Black Static and Swerve because we want to do this for the rest of our lives anyway. So let's just do it together. you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
All right,
that's
it's curated.
oh, perfect. All right. So that's kind of there's your BSS history lore. As far as the channel, Don't Worry Wednesday,
Wow.
the channel it was started by what was his name? The Beta Cat.
Yeah.
And then he got Ryan involved. This was back in what, 2016, 17?
Yeah, so I think he started it 2 or 3 years before I got involved, and then he invited me on to the show to do it with him. And then eventually, after 2 or 3 years of that, uh, he just was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be done with it, but you should keep doing it." And I was like, "Okay." And so I invited Joe on, and then
Yep.
now Joe and I have been doing it for
Yeah, we
so
started
long.
in May of 2018.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss Jesse too. Jesse's awesome.
Yeah. He's still around. He lives closer to you than he does to us, J-Ho. Well, not Ryan right now, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, no, he lives closer to you than me,
yeah.
for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
temperature-wise, sure, but not, no.
Yeah. All right. So we got a new topic. This is from a person named Caught Off Guard. And the title is Uplifting Speech. I like the idea of uplifting speech. So I'll put it up on the screen and you guys can read along while I read
Thank you
it
for the
out loud.
topic.
Yes. Thank you for the topic. And here it is. Boom. I recently caught up with one of my friends and was surprised with myself. Just about everything I mentioned was negative or me talking about how difficult things were. I was noticing as I was talking and tried very hard to think of something positive to say in the moment, but I just couldn't. Any tips on how to reframe speech in a more uplifting and positive way? Ooh. From Caught Off Guard. I really appreciate this topic. Because it's a doozy. I don't know if we're gonna complete it in 13 minutes, but we're gonna do our best.
Yeah.
How to reframe your speech in a more uplifting and positive way. I don't know. Ryan's really good at this, by the way. I don't know if you knew this or not, but Ryan is so good at seeing the bright side of things. And
Yeah, that's a skill I try to facilitate.
yeah, I'm really good at just being angry.
I love that, Joe. I love that about you.
You love that
Great.
about me?
That's so great. That's kind of funny that you just inserted that. I was like, Yeah, okay. Wasn't expecting it for some reason, even though, of course, that's what you would say.
You know me.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan's the bright, shiny one. I'm the angry one that digs into the dark.
Um,
Ryan's not
yeah,
afraid to go into dark topics, though, I will say. But
yeah.
he's always just had this way. So
Speaking.
I really want to hear what Ryan has to say, because like he's really good at, even when I have come to him and said we've got this issue, blah 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 blah. I'm really frustrated, and then Ryan will take it and he will acknowledge that it sucks when it sucks, and then be like, well, but it's not bad because this, and this, and he'll find those bright spots. And I know I have the ability to do that, but I don't always do that in the moment, right? So,
Sure.
so yeah, Ryan, I'm gonna get out of your way. I'm gonna let you just talk about it because you're really good at this. So go for it.
Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I think obviously it's a lot of habit, like many things, but and that's what I think that's what you knew you'd expect out of this topic, but that doesn't mean we can't help and can't say some good things. So, um, here's some things that I think about. What good is it? What good is it to I think this comes from a lot of people kind of think this way, but they don't necessarily act this way. What good is it to complain if it's not going to do anything and not
Yeah,
going to move forward?
true.
You know, a lot of people think that way. They
Good
don't
point.
necessarily act that way. They don't necessarily say those things. They might say it, but they don't act that way. A lot of us agree that it's like, I can complain about it or I can actually just start working on it. Right. But I don't think that's far enough. Um, because I realized at a very young age that what you are thinking in your head is what is going to come out of you. Um, and I mean, this is written brilliantly so in the Bible from the mouth of Jesus about how the basically what comes out of you is generally what's inside of you. And if you're thinking bad thoughts, then you're going to be spewing out bad thoughts, even if it's against your intention. So I realized at a young age that the reason I don't like something, the reason I don't want to do something is because I don't like it. The reason I don't want to do something is because I don't like it. So, and the reason someone else wants to do it is because they do like it. And I realized that what you like is all in your head. You can choose to like it or choose not to. It's not that easy. It's just making a choice. But I realize there's a bit of an illusion. There's an illusion to a lot of this. It's a lot of mind over matter stuff. But if I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about, or not even thinking about, but even just talking about the negatives, I'm not making progress in anything anywhere. But if I talk about the positives, we have something to grab onto to move forward. Not that the negatives need to be ignored. The negatives obviously have to be taken accounted for, talked about, figured out, and solved. But if you don't speak in a way that manages to do that, then that's not going to happen. So your speaking really matters there. And so I'm not saying this like as if it's new. This is something that I'm sure you who wrote the topic know, and that's why you're saying it. I'm just putting it back into your brain like, hey, if you want to move forward in life, generally speaking, you have to keep your mind in the positive so that you'll go that direction. And the way that you speak also has to be the same, because that's what's going to move things in a positive direction for you if you speak that way. So how do you do that? Number one, don't be afraid to smile. I know that's weird, but smile, chuckle to yourself in your head if you can. Just feel it well within your stomach. Just feel this joy. And then when you speak, it will kind of it'll fix the way you form your sentences. It'll fix the way that your mind connects pieces and says things. It's really weird. But I've been in situations, even recently, where I've had a tough conversation And I realize, hold on, I need to take a step back and be less mechanical and far more soft and enduring. So I have a conversation that's like, this needs to happen. This is wrong. This is bad. And I don't like this going on, all this kinds of stuff. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize that as I'm speaking, that's what's coming out. And I hear it just like you did. And I'm like, I don't like that. It's not only making it's not only just negative. It's making the other person on the other side receive something from me that's bad. They don't enjoy it. They feel under pressure. Now they feel stressed. They feel like they're being attacked, even though I had no intention of doing any of that. But the way that I'm saying things in my tone just feels that way. So when I notice myself that way, I feel like this, I'm like, okay, I need to take a step back, be just patient. Let this take however long it's going to take, this conversation. Just be calm and gentle and kind and uplifting. And those are those are the thoughts that I have. And I allow that to well within me. I allow my face, I change the way my face is shaped. Literally. If you've ever watched me, you've probably seen it happen. Like I will have like a serious face, and then I'll be like, I'll think about like, I need to reframe this so that I'm coming at an approach of kindness and charity and gentleness, because that's what they deserve. I need to come at this from a joyful, happy experience, because that's what I want to give them. Right? And so then I'll think about that, and then I'll go, okay. Yeah. I love this person, and I want good things for them. And the way I've been addressing this is bad. So I'm gonna just take my time with this and be like, okay, just soften my tone and like come at it with a peaceful, sincere, more joyful, more positive oriented mind frame. And so I know that sounds kind of arbitrary, abstract, hard to grasp, maybe hard to do in the moment, but my first tip to you is change your posture. Change your posture. So I can say, change your posture, like that. Change your posture. Or I can say, change your posture, right? Just relax. I can put my shoulders down and just relax and speak and be like, you know what? It's not so bad. We're going to get through this. It's like, there's so many bright things going on here. We're negative because there's things that are going on that are wrong amidst so many things going right. It's awesome. So we just got to tackle these few things. And that's great. But if I tense my shoulders, I tense my arms, and I get up, and I feel that's how I project myself. That's how the words come out. That's how my thinking happens, is kind of it's through the body. And so I would say, adjust your posture, adjust your tone, and let that, and a little bit of a way, guide the way that you think and speak. That's my first suggestion, is posture. Your physical posture. Because that really does shape the way that you communicate. And that's interesting. That's weird, but it's interesting. And it's true. So shape your posture around the attitude you want to produce and to be perceived. So you want to be perceived a certain way. You want to produce a certain kind of speech pattern. You want to produce positivity. Adjust your posture so that it starts with your posture and ends with them, right? So that it flows out of you. You have to make that internal adjustment first so that it moves you towards that end. So start with your posture, start with your just recognizing like your demeanor might be off, and then allow that to project forward. That's the first thing I want to say on this. And I think that that's really powerful. And sounds weird. The thing I don't like about that is it sounds a little bit new agey, because it's about the body. But the reality is, our bodies are who we are. Like, it's part of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's only natural that our posture is a reflection of how we feel. But if we change our posture, it will also, in a backwards mirror sort of way, adjust how we feel, adjust how we speak.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, if your posture is a reflection of how you feel in the moment, adjust your posture and it will sort of, in a way, override how you feel in the moment. So start with your posture and let that sort of work into your speech, because your posture is going to change that. That doesn't mean that will solve everything. Again, that's just one step, that I find is actually really helpful. Helps calm things down if they're tense. Even if they're not tense, you're just having a casual conversation. Like, you didn't say, like, if this was like a stressful situation, you're just kind of talking to them and you notice everything was negative and you're like, wow, I'm not being very uplifting. I'm not being positive. Everything I'm saying is just down, 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 down. Even if you don't necessarily even feel down, those are just the words coming out. And that's a whole nother deal. But I think adjusting your posture to begin with is a good thing to do. And it solves a lot of problems. Even if you're just chilling with your friends and everything that comes out of your mouth is negative, it can help. But it might not in this scenario. So, but that's my first thing that I got to say. I'm going to give it over to Joe, see what he's got to say, and I'll add more later, if there's more to say.
That's the first thing I was gonna say. I was like, that's good
Well,
stuff. um, the man, I gotta say, you said in the chat, you guys have such bright energy. I feel like a sick person compared to you guys, even though I don't want to kill anyone or anything like that. You know, I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that we have a bright energy. And I understand, like if you saw me in my normal day-to-day living, then you might you might not think I have such a bright energy all the time. But what Ryan is saying is very true. Just how how we feel in our body makes a huge difference because we're connected. Our bodies and our soul, like our body is the house for
our
our
mind,
soul,
it's all in there.
right? It's all connected and it all interacts and everything, right?
Mm.
So, the idea of being it's so funny to me because for a long time I was reading all kinds of books, listening to all kinds of audios, and being like all into this positivity, and it was really borderlining on toxic positivity. Toxic positivity.
Mm. Sure. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of this
Oh yeah.
mentality of like, okay, like be positive or like, and if something's bad in the world, don't give it light. If something's bad going on, then don't just disregard it. And you can't do that because then you just
Right.
disregard, then you don't solve the issues. And okay, life has problems, right? Life
Yeah.
brings to you issues. And then people are like, well, life brings you lemons, just make lemonade. And I saw something recently. I don't even remember where I saw it. I feel like it was on Discord somewhere, but it was like, if life brings you lemons, make lemonade. And then it was like, but lemons were a hybrid. Lemons don't naturally occur. Like the lemon tree was a hybrid of like something else. So man created lemons.
Wow. I believe that fully. That's
Yeah.
fun.
So it's like so there's it's okay to go into the dark sometimes because sometimes we have to. I mentioned doing this shadow work, and in this work I came across a quote that I really really like, and it was like, um in order for a tree to reach to heaven, its roots have to reach down to hell.
Mm.
And when you think about that, and you could take it biblically as well, like, okay, so if we go from the Bible, I know not all of you are Christians, but I can, a lot of you know the story of Jesus. And for the redemption to be complete, Jesus went to hell. Well, maybe not the hell of the damned, but he went down to the abode
Failed.
of the dead, right? And preached to those down there, right? And reached into this world of sin in order to redeem it, right? And here's the thing about things that are bad that happen to us. All of them are redeemable. Because we can grow and we can learn and we can reframe. Like Jeho says, reframing is tricky. It can be tricky. It absolutely can be, especially when you're in pain. When you're hurting because somebody broke up with you or somebody's mistreating you or you got fired or somehow or other lost your job and things are really stressful, or you're dealing with problem people at work or problem people in your life, or somebody picks a fight with you or whatever, or somebody does something that betrays you. These things cause us pain. And when we're in the midst of serious pain, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual, or mental, whatever, it's hard to do a reframe and think, oh, this is redeemable. I can redeem this. I can make this work. I can, come out the other side. But the thing about life and the world in general, everything is temporary. Everything. Except our souls. Our souls are eternal, right? Or everlasting, I guess you could say. But that, you may not believe that. I believe that as a Christian, but everything in this world is temporary. The feelings you have right now are temporary. You might be feeling on top of the world and you might be all joyful and everything's great and it's temporary. You might be in the deepest pit you've ever experienced in your life and you are absolutely depressed and in need of therapy, and that also is temporary. Relationships we have are temporary. Some of them last our entire lives. But humans have this way of dying.
Lots of ways, actually. Sorry.
I don't know. I have a weird relationship with death. It doesn't really faze me all that much. Like people get really emotional, and I'm empathetic to that. And the feeling of loss is something that hurts me. And it's when I lose a friend, whether it's because they pass away or because I lose them because of distance, whatever it is, it can be really, really painful. But I remember a guy talking to me. He was telling me that one of our former coworkers had died. And my response was, yeah, well, people do that. And I was like, I sat there and I had to think to myself, and I got him to chuckle a little bit. And so that was okay in my estimation because I helped him feel a little bit lighter about it, right? But at the same time, it's a really painful thing to lose a friend, especially when you're close. People lose their pets, and that's painful. But even still, it's temporary. That feeling you have is temporary. It's not going to haunt you your entire life, every moment, every second of every day. And painful things like that have a really, really good way of teaching us something if we're open to it. There's a friend of mine that I haven't talked to in forever, Terra Firma, a friend of mine on Discord, and they're the thing they have on their status, and they've had it for years, is pain makes you wise. And I was like, that's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So even if like you're finding yourself talking all this stuff about like, oh, everything's sad, everything, you know, and when you're having a conversation, if you find yourself being negative, okay, happens to all of us, except Ryan.
No, I can be negative.
I'm very, very positive that I'm generally negative.
It's funny, you can't say that sentence the other way around.
What's
'Cause
that?
positive is a dual meaning. You can't say that sentence the other way around
I know
because
you
positive
can't.
is a dual meaning word, but negative isn't.
Right.
I'm negative that I'm. Wait, can't say that.
Yeah.
Anyways, bless you.
Well, you heard the the real nerdy chemistry joke. One
I'm not sure that I have.
you haven't heard it?
Maybe I have. I don't know.
One atom is talking to another atom, and this atom says,
Okay.
"Dude, you stole an electron from me." And the other atom's like, "No, I didn't." Yes, you did. I'm positive.
Yeah. Okay. That's yeah. I get it. Yeah. I saw where that one was going. Okay. That's very nerdy.
Yeah. Jeho says the difference between realism and pessimism is fairly thin. You're absolutely right. Because realism, it's okay to be a realist, to be realistic about things. I think the line, though, is whether or not you accept the reality as a permanent situation and say, oh, so this is bad that happened, so it's always going to be bad, or blah, 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 blah. Or, you know, or if we're getting ourselves into the realm of being too concerned about things we have no control over, that's a trap. And it can cause you to be very pessimistic, for sure. You try to be a cynical optimist, Wix. I hear you. That's great. This is sucky. It can be better. Well, that's not cynicism necessarily. Skepticism is, I would say, is definitely skeptical, but maybe not cynical. Cynical has an always pessimistic, you know, kind of bent to it, whereas skepticism is very healthy because it can keep you from being taken advantage of and keeping you from being manipulated, and you know, so having some skepticism is good. Is a very good thing.
Some, not too much. Most skepticism is good, but you have to be sometimes a skeptic of your skepticism.
True.
Sometimes you have to be, but skepticism can be healthy for sure.
Yep. And Jeho, I'm sorry to hear about your mom passing. Jeho says, my mom died a bit ago because her heart was too big. Time moves on. It's true that time moves on. And it's also true that grief, to take time to grieve, is important. To allow yourself to feel the feelings is important. Right? But then I would encourage you, in whether you're super positive, super negative, whatever, I would encourage you to notice that your feelings don't define you. Because they don't. Our feelings don't define us. Our feelings are experiences. As my friend Kate would say, you know, feelings, emotions, whatever, you know, they're like the weather. They come and they go. They change. Something happens and we're hurt. And it might hurt us for a really long time. And we might have a lot of things to work through as a result of that pain. We might have a lot of ground to cover in our own mentality and our emotional lives and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, what? But sometimes just one question can change it all. But we don't know when that question is going to come. And we might sit there in the dumps for months before somebody asks a question that reframes everything. And sometimes it doesn't, it's not like an aha moment, like, oh, everything's different. No. Not necessarily. Sometimes they ask a question and then you feel worse about it. For a while. But it starts a journey. You know, just like all of you, I've been through some really painful things. And I know all of you have too. My painful moments aren't any bigger or worse or whatever than yours. Because I'm sure every single one of you has been through something so hard that it's brought you to the very limit of what you've understood or how you felt. And it's brought you to absolute capacity. And it can be overwhelming. Those moments, as you look back over your life, and, you know, like I said, I'm like 273, so I've got some experience here. I've got some XP going on, right? As I look back, some of the most important moments of my life were the most painful moments of my life. And in the moment when you're hurting, it's tough to think, oh, this is going to be a defining moment. You know, this is going to be good. This is going to lead to a lot of good things. And sometimes it's not direct. Sometimes that painful moment just starts you on a path. And then that path that you walk on, that journey you take, changes everything for you. I've experienced this multiple times where I've had things that have been so painful and brought me to my absolute limit mentally and emotionally, have been some of the most important, wisdom generating, and, you know, like, they've started me on a journey that has taught me how to seek wisdom. And this can happen for any one of you. But I'm just going to call you anonymous because what was the person's name? Caught off guard?
Caught off guard.
Caught off guard. I admire you because you noticed that your speech was negative. You had enough, what's the word? Autonomy? Maybe?
Yeah. Self-recognition?
Yeah.
Self-consciousness?
Yeah. Self-awareness.
There you go.
To take a step outside yourself and look at yourself and say, I'm being negative. I can change this. I know there's a way to change this. Maybe I just don't know how. I'm going to ask these guys that are not professionals. And I appreciate you asking us because it helps us to ask these questions of ourselves as well. And it helps us gain wisdom through just the very act of discussing it. But I love what Ryan said about how your body is a key part of this too. And I would say, if you can train your body somehow, it doesn't have to be rigorous, go into the weight room, becoming a, like a beefcake, bodybuilder or whatever. It doesn't have to be that. But you can just do some stretching. You can go for a walk. You can do something that, improves your body, your bodily health in some way. That has a huge impact on your mentality. And now that you've caught yourself in this time where you're like, oh, I'm talking negative a lot. Everything I'm saying here is negative. I can try and change that. And that's the beginning of improvement. It's not going to happen all at once. But over time, as you get better at noticing and, saying, okay, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to choose my words differently. You become conscious of this. And here's the interesting thing. Now that you're conscious of it, you can build competence in it. You say, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say this
Hmm.
instead. And you become more and more competent at doing that. But then as you develop the habit, you become unconsciously competent and it just becomes the way you are. And that's probably what you're seeing here. Because you said we have a bright energy. That's just because we've practiced. We didn't just
True.
stumble upon it. We weren't born this way. Ryan's been through a lot of stuff
Right.
too. You know, like we've
Yeah.
all been through a lot of stuff. But
I used
then
to be such a pessimist about
what's that?
everything.
Did you?
I was such a pessimist about everything.
No, you
Yeah.
weren't. No way.
I know it's hard to believe.
I
I
don't.
was,
Yeah.
for sure.
So anyway, I don't know. That's what I got to say. Ryan, what else you got to say?
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I guess I want to try to keep it short. It's 19 minutes over. So, but I want to say this.
We absorb the power of the sun.
When yes, the very limited amount of sun that I get. I live inside. It's just like a little bit of sun goes a far way. Okay. Anyways, um, I used to be a goo boy. Yeah, a goo guy. Yes, I used to be made of goo. For
So gooey.
positive speech, there's something important that Joe was just saying that you recognize this. You recognize yourself and that your speech is negative, which means you also recognize that there is a positivity that is lacking, but it's also that there's acknowledgement of positivity, even if you don't know what it is. One of the things, though, is you're kind of catching up with somebody, right? And so the things that come out of your mouth are the things that are interesting, new, different things to talk about, right? And so, excuse me, it makes sense that those things are generally going to be negatives because your life is generally filled with so much good. And it's the negatives that stand out against it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't recognize that that's the truth, but that is generally the truth for most people. Your life is like enshrouded by all this goodness. And it's the negative spots that stand out in them. They're the things that are going against you. They're the things that are new and upcoming, right? You're trying to make your way in life and you're going forward, and then suddenly you get hit with illness, right? What's a negative thing? You're going to talk about it. You're sick. You're going to share that, right? Keep in mind that sharing those negatives kind of actually bring light to the positive in a way. Because you recognize like there's this thing that is health, and generally you aren't this sick, right? You're this sick right now. And so it's something to talk about. And it doesn't even necessarily, it's not even like a negative sometimes. It's just something to talk about. It's like many times I'll talk about something that might sound negative. It might be like I'm focusing on the negative, but in reality, I'm just sharing something that's going on, and I don't necessarily perceive it as something completely negative. And I think we all do this. But the way that it comes out and we hear it back, we're like, oh, it sounds like I'm just being negative. Like everything I said was negative, because that's all I talked about. I talked about being sick. I talked about the things getting in the way of my work. I talked about the, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, yeah, but all of those things are in contrast to the good that exists. The fact that you have the work that you're trying to do and you're trying to move forward in life and you got this sickness which got in your way and et cetera, et cetera. It's like, so they stand out and they're talking points, but it doesn't mean you're necessarily being completely negative. But I think there is a way to always reinforce the positive every time you speak a negative. And that's something I like to do. I hope to do it more. Sometimes I'm lackadaisy with it, but that is pretty much every time I speak about, to the best I can, almost every time I speak about a negative, I point that towards the positive. Because I care about resolution. I care about the end, goals. The point of the negativity, the point that I'm trying to make is not the negative thing. It's actually the positive thing that the negative thing's in the way of, right? Generally, that's what we care about. It's like, oh man, this happened. It got in the way of this positive, right? So whenever I hear a song, and I remember guiding people a little bit a few years ago, but a couple of different people, they asked about writing lyrics, and it takes me forever to write lyrics, but they asked me, and I gave my honest answer. They wrote some lyrics, and I read them, I listened to them, and I said, these are really good. What's the resolution here? Like, you've done a really good job of pointing out the pain and the suffering, and you've done it in a beautiful way. But if you just end there, you might have offered somebody a bit of, what's the word? Relatability. You're like, yeah, they can relate with you. They're in the same boat. They're stuck feeling this way. I'm gonna see if I can elevate you to help pull them out. Because if someone relates to your message of being in this pain, that's a great place to be. But just sitting in that hole with them doesn't necessarily do much. It can at times, where it's like, finally someone relates to me. Someone else has this problem, and it can be consoling. But then if that's the point, make that the point of your song. Make that message clear, right? That is the resolution. It's not a good resolution, and it's not a bad resolution either. By the way, what I mean is, it's not a resolution. It doesn't resolve anything, but it does resolve a little bit of that pain or at least make sense a little bit, or feel like you're not alone. That's good. Then put that into your song. But so, like, if you think that way, and what I'm trying to say is, anonymous or caught off guard, the reasons we point out the negatives is because it contrasts the good. If you want to talk about the negative, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what's coming to your mind and that's what you have to talk about because that's what's new and you're catching up with somebody, that's normal. That's okay. You just have to take the one extra step when you're writing your lyrics, when you're speaking your message, when you're communicating with this person. You just need that one extra step to point the conversation to the good that this negative contrasts. And suddenly, not everything you're saying is negative. It's actually positive. Because it's like, you're pointing out this, that, the other thing, and these are negatives, but they're all directed towards a positive. And suddenly the negatives seemed like, wow, that was a really positive, uplifting conversation. Even though, like, everything they said sounded negative, it was actually a really positive and uplifting conversation. And that's how you can write a good song. You can write a song that's all about negative stuff, but yet somehow it can be positive and uplifting and empowering and help people. And so what I'm hoping for you is that you just remember, when you feel this thing like, oh yeah, everything I'm like, you just, you're surprised about yourself. You're surprised. It's like everything you said was a negative thing. You pointed out negative difficulties, things that were, making life hard and so on. All you have to do is take one extra step. Apart from the body posture thing, just take one extra step. And that is, let that negative point to its rightful end. Let the negative point to, all you have to do is say it. Let the negative point to its rightful end. And that rightful end can be many things. It can be a charitable thought of, man, bless those people who are always just, in pain and suffering all the time. I wish so much for them. That is a really bad situation, And it's like, well, isn't that negative? No, that's love. You're showcasing your compassion. That's a positive thing. Showcasing passion amidst a negative is actually a positive, because it showcases compassion, a virtue, showcases love, an interest in the good of another. Sounds like it's negative, But really, your next thing you got to do, you just have to take the extra step and point it to, man, it's like, I want more for them. Wish I could do something, you know? And that's a good thought, even if it's a painful one. And so it doesn't always have to be that way. It can be good. It can be like, man, you know, like I was walking and then my shoes broke, you know, and then, you know, and I had to walk on my feet home, you know, and that's what you have to talk about. And it's like, but that's kind of a fun story. It's kind of cool. I did manage to walk home on my feet and it was really painful, but it's like, thank God for like mankind inventing shoes. Also, I can't believe I did it. Like, you know, I never would have thought I would walk like a mile without shoes on, but I did it and it was painful, but go me, you know, that was pretty cool. And like people do that. Like the people people like run a marathon with no shoes on. That's insane. That's awesome. Geez, that's such tolerance and like calloused feet and like, wow, those people are amazing. So it's like I've taken something that's negative and I've just turned it into something that's positive and talking about people that are cool and talking about how I did something that I'm impressed by and talking about how it's great that we have shoes. So my point is, when you see these negatives, it's really not hard to flip them into a positive. It can be fun. It can be a fun activity, something that brings your mind a little dose of dopamine because you're like, yeah, I figured it out. I figured out how to turn this negative into a positive. I did it, you know, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a game. And at some point, if you do that enough, your mind will be wired to figure out what are the positives. And that is a useful tool because once your mind is wired to figure out the positives within the negatives, your mind will have less shutting down on itself. It will have more productive thoughts. It will compel you to do productive things and move you forward. And easier, there's more easy. Life, I think, just becomes more easy. It's not
More
about
easier.
Disregarding the positive. Oh, thank you, Joe. More easier. Is it two ers or just one? More easier? Anyways. Okay, got it. It becomes more easier. It becomes easier. It's just weird, okay? More doesn't belong anymore, okay? More doesn't belong anymore in that sentence. It's just easier, okay? Life becomes easier. And no, I'm kidding. Life becomes easier because you're not defeating yourself when something else is defeating you. You know, something happens bad and you're like riding that wave of badness to destroy yourself. How often in life have we done that? Instead, if you can wire your mind to try to spin positive on everything, and I know it's like, it doesn't mean you ignore the negatives. It doesn't mean you shut down the negatives because you don't want to do that. That's self-defeating as well. You have to recognize the negatives. You have to embrace them. You have to come face to face with them. But you also can't let them, you can't just face them and say, okay, well, you know, that's what they are. And there's nothing, you know, like that's what it is. It's like, well, that's not the end of it. A negative is always in contrary to a positive. Sometimes our minds just aren't thinking in a way that can find the positive, but there's positive that exists or else that negative wouldn't exist. And so I would say if you can remember that, and I don't expect you to remember that all the time, constantly, but if you notice again, like, oh, it's like the things I'm saying are just negative, you know, all you have to do is take those things and move them to the next phase, which is point them into the direction of the positivity that they're in contrary to, right? That's a really easy tool and a really easy thing to do. And you know, it might not be easy at first, but it'll become easier. And the more you do it, the more you're going to train your mind to do it without you thinking. And at some point, it becomes an incredibly useful tool. Because without thinking, something bad happens to you and your mind automatically turns into, all right, like, let's move forward. Let's not let this get me down and ruin my day. Instead, let's make a good day out of this. And you start moving forward, and you start using your negatives as tools to make life better, because you're in a problem-solving sort of the notion. Anyways, that's my main second thing I want to say is your negative points to a positive. You just have to uncover what it is and say it. And suddenly your conversation, everything negative you said, suddenly becomes a positive, and it's flipped on itself. And you're like the person on the receiving end will be like, wow, that was a really positive, uplifting conversation. Even though like 90% of the content sounded negative and like, oh man, all these bad things are happening. At the end of it, they're like, man, that was kind of felt something there. That was good. Like, that was good. That was a nice conversation. And so that's a big, huge tool that I would highly recommend. And that's it. Sorry, took a while to say, but I had to repeat it many times in different ways, but
it was worth it.
Wanted to nail it in.
It was worth it.
You're worth it, Joe.
Thanks, Ryan. You're worth it too. And chat, you guys are worth it. I mean, look, the chat, people are cutting the cheese.
Wow, it's incredible. The moon, hey, it's not an infinite resource of cheese, but it's pretty big. It's pretty big.
Yes. Yeah, I can't think of anything else I'd add to that. That was beautiful, Ryan. Yeah.
Thank you.
So hopefully our perspective was valuable to you, caught off guard, and I hope that you can learn some stuff about yourself even more, and you're on the right track because you're noticing these things, right? And when you have the self-awareness to notice these things about yourself and to know what direction you want to go in, the paths make themselves known to you.
That's right.
Because you're looking for them. It's amazing how life is. Things pass by us all the time. We don't know we're looking for it until we have our eyes open because of an experience like this. And then all of a sudden, things that have always been there, we just start seeing them. And you're on the right track. It's good to be very self-aware. That's a good thing. Because then now you can plant seeds for growth. It's not going to be instant. None of these things ever are. But you're going to get better and better and better and better. The more you notice and the more you choose to move things in a better direction. And it can be done. So much of my life, I'm sure some of you guys can relate to this too. I've felt trapped a lot of times. And we all feel that way. But the truth is, we're never truly trapped. Sometimes there are situations that we can't get ourselves out of. We have to take responsibility. We got to do certain things, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. But it doesn't define us. If anything, it can help us grow. Anything has that potential. So thank you. Thank you so much for the topic. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for cutting the cheese in the chat. Thanks for everything. I'm just so thankful for you guys. It's great to be here again. It's a new year. Happy New Year again, and I feel like it's going to be a big year. I feel like a lot of stuff can happen. Probably for all of us. And so dream. Have some dreams. From those dreams, create some goals. From those goals, do some actions. And you can make it a big year too. It's going to be great. Oh, Wix, thanks.
You guys are so awesome. Thank you. Thank you. We're very thankful for you guys. We're thankful for the show.
Yep.
We're thankful we have this beautiful opportunity to hang out with you guys and share wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys have a lot of really good things to say.
Oh my gosh,
so
yes.
we're thankful.
Yep.
Mhm.
You guys say some profound stuff in the chat sometimes, and I'm just like, oh, I can adopt that. I'm gonna steal that one. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it like I said it. Wait, I'm gonna say no.
We'll attribute
We
things
usually
to
say your
people.
name
It's
from reading.
of course,
Yeah,
of course.
or else we'll be like Wix and just say the thing. Wix said this earlier. He said they're like the person in the classroom that says what you said but louder. We'll just be like that.
Yeah. Yes. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. Come back next week. We'll be back. Yeah. Now there shouldn't be much impediments to us doing this every week for a while. And so we'll be here next Wednesday. So if you got a topic you want us to talk about, go to don'tworrywednesday.com and click the submit a topic button and fill it out and send it to us. We would be happy, more than happy, to talk about whatever it is on your mind. And yeah, so just send it.
Yeah.
That's it. We love you guys so much, and we will see you next week on Don't Worry Wednesday. Until then, take very good care of yourselves and the people around you. And remember that we love you.
Sure do. Thank you guys. Bye now.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.